Today's story is about introduction of Sindbad the sailor. The porter. Long ago, Baghdad was the famous city of the caliphs. There lived many great nobles, wealthy merchants, and learned men. But there were very many poor people too. There was a poor porter in that city. He was the poorest of the poor. He carried loads for other people for small sums of money, and in this way he earned his living. One day he was carrying a heavy load. It was a hot day and he was very tired. On the way, he passed by the gate of a big garden house. Near the gate, there were shady trees with seats under them. A cool breeze had just begun to blow. The porter put down his load on a seat and sat down on another seat beside the load. The cool breeze refreshed him. He looked through the gate into the garden and saw a big hall. There were a large number of men in rich clothes. Slaves were carrying delicious dishes and drinks to the men. There were girls too, dancing and singing. He thought that the house owner must be a nobleman or a king. He said aloud to himself, "O God, why does he live a happy life? Why do I toil and suffer?" At that moment, a slave came out of the house and said to the porter, "Friend, please come in. The master wants to speak to you." He took the porter by the hand and led him through the garden into the big hall. There the master of the house and his guests were sitting at a table. The porter bowed low before an old man with a long white beard. He was the master of the house. He welcomed the porter and asked him to sit by his side. The servants placed before him several dishes of delicious food. After he had eaten and drunk, he thanked the old man. The master of the house then said to the porter, "Friend, you are welcome to my house. What is your name? What do you do for a living in this city?" The porter again bowed and said, "Sir, my name is Sindbad. I carry loads. People call me Sindbad the porter. I am a poor man." The old man exclaimed, "Brother, my name too is Sindbad. People call me Sindbad the sailor. Both of us bear the same name. I welcome you in a special way to this house. My servants reported me the words reported to me the words you spoke at the gate. Would you kindly say them again? The porter hung down his head in shame and said, "Forgive me, sir. Do not think badly of me. The troubles of a poor man may make him bad tempered. They may make him say silly things too." Sindbad the sailor said, "I am not angry with you, my friend. I understand your feelings. When you see my wealth, it is natural for you to think of your own poverty. I didn't get all this wealth without meeting dangers and suffering hardships." Then he turned to his guests and said, "I will tell you all about the great dangers and hardships of my sea voyages and how I got all this wealth." Then he ordered his servants to shift the porter's load from the gate to a safe place. He invited all the guests to supper. Sindbad the sailor then told the story of his life and voyages to his guests. It was full of strange incidents and dangerous adventures in unknown lands. The guest went about narrating Sindbad's adventures to others. It reached the ears of the Caliph. The Caliph too invited Sindbad to his place and listened to his story. Then the Caliph said, "I'll ask a scholar to write this story in letters of gold. It will be retained and read for all times to come." What was thus written came to be known as the Voyages of Sindbad the Sailor. You too will want to read the story. Here is the story for you to read.